Hey, it's Zach from Engadget, and today we're taking a look at the Sony CyberShot QX10, known informally as a lens camera. And the reason it's called a lens camera is because the primary element here is the lens. As you can see, it's very small, and there's no LCD on the back. And so no LCD there, and very limited controls. So you're going to need to use a smartphone or a tablet to control the camera. Although you can also use some of the built-in controls to shoot, although you won't have a screen to use to frame the images or confirm exposure. And so I'll give you a walkthrough of the hardware right here. We have a power button right up top there. We have a microphone right here. We have a 10x optical zoom lens. As you can see right now, I just used the zoom toggle over on the left side. We have a shutter release. And over on the right side, we have a battery indicator here. And so this is the only indicator of remaining power. You don't have one in the software, unfortunately, so you'll have to take a look here. Also, it's not very detailed, as you can see. You don't get a percentage, and you only have 4 little notches. So you're going to want to make sure that this is fully charged up using the bundled micro USB cable. Here is the port before you go out for a day of shooting. You also have the battery under here, a micro SD card slot right there, and then on the back of the battery cover we have a little sticker that has the SSID and password that you'll use to pair your smartphone or tablet with the camera. And so I'll show you how that works in just a second. 2 other accessories that come in the box are this wrist strap, which you'll want to use especially when you have the camera connected to your smartphone, and then this little mount right here that connects the camera to your phone directly. And so to install that, line up these white notches here, turn to secure, and then you have this mount right here, one side of which extends to fit just about any phone. So we've actually used this with a Samsung Galaxy Note 2 and didn't have any issues getting connected. And so you're going to want to launch the Play Memories app from your phone. So you just tap the icon. It should only take a moment or two, maybe about a total of 5 seconds to get connected to the camera. I actually just took a picture accidentally right there. So right now we have a live view from the camera to the smartphone, as you can see right here. And so you can either use the camera disconnected like this, handheld, or you can set it down on any surface, which is great for video. And then of course you have free reign with the viewfinder. And so you can still move the viewfinder because it's your smartphone without moving the camera, which is pretty cool. You can also connect it to your camera and use it in a more traditional way like this by pulling up that little arm right there. And as you can see here, I tried to avoid the volume rocker. With a smaller phone, especially this Moto X that I'm using, you have to move it over a little bit off center so that you can still have access to the volume rocker right there. And then you want to wear the wrist strap whenever you can, just because especially when the lens is mounted here, if you're not used to the weight distribution, it can be a little bit too easy to drop it. So I'll give you a walkthrough here. Unfortunately, we only have 3 modes in the camera. We have Auto, Intelligent Auto, which is just a very basic auto mode. Superior Auto, which gives you access to some of Sony's advanced modes, like the handheld Twilight mode that you get with some of the NEX cameras and point-and-shoots. And then you have Program Auto, which is actually the only mode where you can set white balance and exposure compensation, although you do not, unfortunately, have access to shutter speed and aperture directly. But you can set white balance, as we did right here, and then you can also set the exposure compensation, but only in this one mode. I've been using Superior Auto for the most part. The camera's done a pretty good job with exposures, although some exposures have been a little bit below where they should be. Unfortunately, you can't use exposure compensation with Intelligent Auto, though, so some of the images we needed to correct in Photoshop. Let me give you a walkthrough of the interface, though. And so it's pretty simple. Up top here you have the remaining photos, and that's the built-in micro SD card readout. So we have 9,000 images remaining there with a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. You have the resolution up here as well. And as you can see, you can actually tap to focus. I tried to tap up here to change the resolution, but you can't do that, unfortunately. You do need to go into the main systems menu, the main settings menu, to do that. So I hit the settings button right there. Here you have access to a self-timer, the image size, and aspect ratio. you have access to the review image, which is the image that comes right to the camera, to the smartphone rather, after you shoot it. Save options, you can either save to your smartphone and the camera, or just to the smartphone. Size of the review image. Now the review image is what comes to the smartphone after you shoot, and so that's the shot that you'll actually use to upload to social media. You can copy over a full-size image later if you want, but by default a 2 megapixel image will come. You can have the original image sent over right away, but keep in mind that that'll take up more space on your phone. It'll also take a little bit longer to transfer the image. Then you can turn on and off the beep of the camera here, and you can format the memory card. You also have a zoom toggle, as you can see right here, and so you can zoom using this on-screen toggle, or you can zoom using the physical toggle on the camera itself, which is a little bit more responsive than the display. And so if you need to zoom a little bit more quickly, I would use the hardware toggle here. If you're zooming while recording a video, however, you may want to use the toggle on the screen, just because you can minimize movement of the device while you're recording video that way. And then to shoot an image, you can either use the physical shutter release on the camera, or you can use the shutter release right there in the app as well. So from here, after you shoot, you'll get a 2 megapixel preview. You can zoom into it here just by pinching and zooming to verify sharpness. So that's pretty cool. You can then share it as well to any of the apps, the photo sharing apps that you have already installed on your phone. Then to continue shooting, you hit the back button and you're ready to go. So it's pretty responsive, really no issues with delay. We were expecting quite a bit of lag because this is a Wi-Fi connection, but it's really pretty much as good as it gets. So there is a little bit of a delay, but it's fairly minor. So I'll show you here. I accidentally turned off the phone. There we go. So as you can see, I'm moving the device right here, and the lag is noticeable, but it's really minor. It's not going to be an issue at all for the most part. So this has been a quick look at the Sony QX10 lens camera. It is available now for $250.